What's up YouTube? Musty Hobbit here with another episode of the ColleXion Chronicles. And if you remember from my last episode, we talked a lot about Splinter Cell and the Splinter Cell game. And I mentioned that I had a pretty big deal coming from my buddy Ben from the Iowa Retro Gamer Nation. So he does a lot of game hunting in the city that he's from, which is not too far from me, but he basically has he's got his routine down and he finds a lot of stuff. Whereas my thrift finds usually end up being a couple sports titles and things like that. He's actually finding some decent stuff. So he had been hanging on to 10 games for me over the past couple of months until we could figure out a way to finalize that deal. I actually met with him the other day, and so finally we made good on finalizing that exchange. So Ben, thank you. You're awesome, and the fact that you are willing to do this for me is much appreciated. And so all the support that you give, I highly appreciate it. And if you are in the Iowa Retro Gamer Nation, do business with Ben. Ben's a great guy. So we'll go through the games to show you those. And I got one little surprise that he is letting me borrow just for the moment till I can get some things done. More to come there. So we'll just jump right in. We've got a copy of Haunted Mansion, based off of the Disney movie. And again, I believe all of these are complete. But yeah, this is the Haunted Mansion game. We have a copy of Unreal 2: The Awakening. This is obviously the second in the Unreal series, and this is first-person shooter, competitive multiplayer type game. So the next game on the list is Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. And I remember seeing reviews for this. I need to give this a try, but the art style's pretty interesting, and the character models are, I don't know if you can see that pretty well there. So we'll learn some more about that game. Next one up is a Star Wars title. One of the ones that I understand is a little bit more, not as rare. This is one that actually I don't think reviewed very well, but it is Star Wars Obi-Wan. And it follows Ewan McGregor's character from episode 1, I believe, and sort of how he goes after between episode 1 and episode 2. The next up after that is based on an anime, one that I'm not really. It's not that I'm not into anime. I hadn't ever found one that interested me enough, but this is Robotech Battlecry, which is sort of a mech combat game. Sort of a mission-based mech game. So I'm looking forward to that. I know there is a collector's edition of this. I saw it come up for sale in the Iowa group recently, but I don't have any familiarity with the license, so I'm really not jumping at a collector's version of it, but this will suit that well. This next game looks to be an RPG. I had recently picked up a copy of Might and Magic, and this is by the same production company, Zycat. And this is Metal Dungeon, and this looks to be sort of a tech magic dungeon type environment, Metal Dungeon. So I think it's kind of maybe, we'll have to see. I think it's a dungeon crawler, but it may also be sort of an RPG based game. So Metal Dungeon. Next one up is one that will unfortunately, I believe, be rendered unusable, but that's okay. This is Phantasy Star Online, episode 1 and 2. And unfortunately, because the servers don't work for the original Xbox anymore, I don't believe that I can play this. I think there is some offline function, but I'm not sure what needs to happen. I'll have to do some research on that, but so I have that. I know the Phantasy Star series originated on Sega, and I know that there's some good and some not so good in that series. The next one up is another RPG, so that actually makes 3 RPGs in a row, and this is Arx Fatalis, which is a first-person RPG, and actually some of the pictures in the back kind of remind me of Elder Scrolls almost. A lot of spell creation, multi-classing of warriors and mages and things like that. So, very happy to find that one. And something tells me that this production company, Dreamcatcher, I can't remember why that sticks out to me. But I'm looking forward to trying this one out. There weren't enough RPGs on the Xbox, so the little ones that you can find may be gems. I'm hoping that maybe one of those is the case. The last two games are both from the same series, pretty prominent series. The first of which is Silent Hill for the Room, which is an interesting one. I think it's kind of a departure from the normal Silent Hill, but this is one that I have only spent a few minutes playing, and it creeped me out. There's some stuff in the opening cinematic that is just not cool. This is one I'll have to put some time into to get a feel for it, but I'm probably gonna have the lights on. May play it during the day. I don't do spooky that well. Which is funny because the other game I got is from the same series, and that is Silent Hill 2, Restless Dreams. And this is the, not a remake, but this was the sort of port of Silent Hill 2 from the PS2 over to the Xbox, and there's some additional extras that they threw in there. Maria is playable, and there's some additional secrets and weapons and things like that. Now, Silent Hill 2 was a Cartridge Club Game of the Month. In fact, it was a very early one. I think it may have even been episode 2. Don't quote me there, but I believe it was definitely early. So I'm happy to have a copy. I'll still be looking for the PlayStation copy as well. But the Silent Hill series is one that, a lot of people love it. I have played some of the newer ones. Homecoming is one that I played all the way through multiple times. I really need to go back and kind of go back to the roots. Watch the original movie. I like the original movie quite a bit, but I'm looking forward to those. So that's all 10 games that Ben found from me in a number of different places around town. Now the other thing that Ben is letting me borrow for now is something that he made himself, and he took the time to. Now I know you can buy a finished version of these things, but he actually took the time to make his own USB to Xbox controller port for a thumb drive, and this is how he goes about soft modding. So I'm going to give that a shot. I've got a couple of consoles that I want to try throwing some emulations up there. Obviously the games that I have, it'll be nice to play those when I'm on the big screen and not have to go get the disc or the cartridge in those cases. So I'd like to give that a try, but I will be getting this back to you relatively soon, Ben. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I don't end up bricking any of those. But anyways, that's what I've got for you today. Big thank you again to Ben for all of this. It is very much appreciated. you are a great example of what the Iowa Retro Gamer Nation is and how well we can all work together to, help achieve a lot of the stuff that we're trying to achieve. Is very much appreciated. So, anyway, that'll be it for now. I will have future ColleXion Chronicles episode coming up pretty soon. I'm trying, I know I had a lot of these just come out recently, so I'm going to try and intersperse it with some other stuff too. As a reminder, it is May, and May's Cartridge Club Game of the Month is Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. So I am in the process of playing that. I'm looking forward to the upcoming podcast. I'm not sure who's on it, but I am looking forward to hearing what people have to say about that game. But my other series of shows is referred to as Musty's Quest, which is, I've dubbed it the search for the top 100 Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, so feel free to check that out. And again, I will come back with another ColleXion Chronicles video soon. So I will leave you there. Thanks for coming by. I've been Musty. Take care of yourself. Be good to each other.